1. All right, guys, we are officially live. Casey, how's it going? How are you feeling today?
Good. I am fired up. So I'm ready. I'm ready to chat.
I love it. I know everyone's super excited. Someone just messaged me and they were like, yo, let me in the Facebook group right now. I need to see this interview. With that in mind, before we officially dive in, let me just make sure that we are good to go and that it's working here on my phone, because I want to make sure I'm not live in like another group or something. All right, we are here. We are officially live. We got a few of you guys on here already. If you're tuning in live, drop a 1 below. If you can hear us, drop a 1 below. Show some love. Drop a hashtag Casey in the comments. And if you hear my dog barking in the background, there's nothing I could really do about it. So you guys are going to have to deal with it. Yeah, he's excited, you know. He's showing some love. I love it. Casey, tell everyone where you're based out of. Let's just jump right in. Like, give me like the 1 minute version of who you are and your story. If you can break it down into 1 minute.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if it can be 1 minute, but I could try. So I'm originally from Detroit, loved the city, moved over to Chicago to actually go to school. So I went to Northwestern for college, studied business and economics there. And then after I left, it's a pretty good institution. It's like, I think right now, like the 8th best university in the nation, right? Like huge institution. And it's like, all right, you get this great degree and then you go on to get a great job. And that's what I did in theory, right? And so I started working for a pretty large firm and doing some pretty cool work there, but was just always
What kind of firm was it?
It was a business strategy firm. So just sitting down with CEOs, CFOs, and just rolling out like pure business strategy stuff. Traveling 6 times out of the week, staying in crappy hotels, eating crappy food. But like that's what you're supposed to do when you like go get this degree. And
for sure. So you went down the traditional, like I'm going to go to a good school, I'm going to get a really nice job. How did you pivot into, I'm going to launch an e-com agency?
Yeah, like honestly, I was reflecting on this before our chat, but it was just like, I've always been one to bet on myself. Like I've always been like, all right, like I can do this. Started my first business actually at like 16, and since then had been like scaling other different businesses. So I actually was an e-com pretty young, right? And was doing like putting up Shopify stores, building different brands. So I've always been doing that, but it was just like, I have to go this route and go to school and get a good job. This is just for fun. But then I learned like, I just need more freedom. I need more freedom. I want more time for myself. And at the end of the day, like I honestly am a huge person just about doing work that I'm aligned to do. And I feel like I am so aligned to do this type of work. And I did not have that in the traditional route. So the traditional route is for some folks. Definitely going to school, get a job. Like some folks like that. It wasn't for me. Like I don't like the structure. It just wasn't for me. So I had to drop that and pivot out.
That's freaking awesome. The biggest takeaway that I got even just so far is the fact that when you're aligned with your work, that probably made a huge difference in you being able to scale up so quickly.
Yeah.
Because going from one client to 30K a month now in like 90 days is pretty insane. So let me just jump right in and ask you a question. For people that are just starting out, how do they find that alignment if they don't have it? Is it a matter of connecting to a bigger vision? Is it a matter of finding meaning in the work? Because I know a lot of us, we might not be passionate about the specific Shopify store that we're helping to launch, or we might not be as passionate about a local business in terms of what, like a dentist, I know most of us aren't walking around being like, oh, I love dentists or I love X niche. So just jumping right in, how would you help people find that alignment? Because I have a feeling that made a huge difference in your quick growth.
No, to find the alignment, I think, well, let me take it a step back too and say like why most people can't even like find the alignment, right? Like we don't even get to the space where we can even like open ourselves, like find the alignment. Number one reason, right, is fear, right? It's like if I even like start thinking about it, I might have to take action if I even start like thinking about like, what am I supposed to be doing, right? And so first thing is like I think of a lot of challenges as like dominoes, right? The first domino you have to knock down is just like the domino of fear. And for doing that, it's easier said than done. Like, yes, I can sit here with you now after scaling and be like, just knock it down, like get rid of it. But what I learned is like, fear is just something that is just natural in humans, right? It's used to protect us. So like we all have it, but then calling it out and understanding like why you even have it, right? So a lot of my fears were actually like passed down to me, like my parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents, right? So like, okay, go get this job and have security, right? Because for those generations, like that's what they had to do. And so I start realizing like the reason I was battling the fear so much is because it wasn't mine. Like it wasn't mine to hold on to. It wasn't mine to like work through. It was someone else's. And so when I realized that, it allowed me to just like kind of shed this. Like this fear isn't actually mine, right? And so once I got rid of the fear of just like the biggest fear, I think was probably just like job security and things like that. Once I got or failing, right? Once I got rid of that fear and understood like this isn't mine, like I'm okay, like I'll figure it out. Once I got rid of that, then I could start focusing on alignment. And for me, it was just like actually doing some tactical things, like getting clear on like what I actually wanted out of life. Like you said, it wasn't about like, oh, I want to like help dentists, or like I wanted like freedom, or I want freedom. And the big things, and this is kind of like philosophical, is just like, I just want like peace that I think comes with a lot of financial freedom for me, and like joy. And so, all right, how can I get there? And one of those was pivoting out of that kind of like structured work. But some tactical things I even got to do to see that alignment was just like little things like eating right, working out, like journaling, like people say like manifest, right? Like all these things helped me start getting like more clear on like my purpose, what I wanted in life. And then that naturally led me to this kind of place of alignment.
I love that. I think the agency game is grueling work. It takes time. It's an uphill battle, but on the other side, there's so much growth, and on the other side, there's freedom, and there's financial opportunity. That being said, a lot of us get so stuck in the day-to-day, and we lose sight of why we're doing this in the first place. Yeah. And what I've noticed is pretty much every single person that crushes it and goes on to succeed, they didn't lose clarity on that bigger vision and the bigger why of, hey, this is why I'm doing this and going down this path. Yeah. So I freaking love that. Casey, the question that's on everyone's mind, how did you go from one client to 25K and now 30K a month? I know you sent me that screenshot.
Well, this morning we're at 35.
35. That's crazy. Congrats, guys.
It's like Bitcoin over here.
Yo, that's amazing. It's like you just see it grow, and then it's like it was at 13K, now it's at 20K. Yeah. Guys, if you find that absolutely freaking amazing, show Casey some love. Drop some ones in the chat. The fact that she's doing 35K a month now and is taking time to be here with us, like, I'm just so grateful. So thank you so much. And guys, drop a one below, show some love and show some gratitude. So with that in mind, I do want to be clear. It seems like you have been in the business game for a while. So it's not like you just magically overnight found this one thing that automatically took you to the next level. And I'm a huge believer in context and really providing people with both sides of the story, not just one side. And it's easy to sit here and be like, oh, you signed up for 7FA and you're at 30K a month. But the reality is you've been grinding for years. It seems like you've been in business since you were much younger. You've been in client-facing roles with some pretty big clients when you were in your actual job.
Yeah.
You got a degree in business. But that being said, it's still fascinating how you scaled up so quickly. So what would you say are like the biggest reasons why you were able to make that happen?
Yeah. And for folks like tuning in to even just like recap what Joel said, right? Like I went to this huge university. Bill Gates actually paid for me to go to school. It's like really smart kid, went to this huge university, started this huge job, right? Left all that and bet on myself. But I think the couple of big reasons why I did this, right, was, and let me mute Slack. The five key things, right, as I was reflecting on how we got here so quickly. The first thing was really just understanding the niche I was going after and the buyers that I would be talking to, right? Like these folks that own, I'm in the e-com niche. These folks like understand Facebook, right? They, and Instagram and all the other platforms we run on, they understand the power of all that, right? And most times they've either done it themselves and or worked with an agency, right? So when I get on the phone with them, they're pretty much an expert in the space. Sometimes, most of the time, they're pretty much an expert in the space as much as I believe I am, right? And so the first thing I think that I had to get really strong in, it was becoming an expert in the niche, right? And so even taking sales calls and our sales team, we treat it like a consulting call. We want to show up as the expert and somewhat like educate our prospects, our leads, and give them tips and tricks and things that we're seeing in the industry and working. And that's positioning us as the expert, right? And so first thing I learned was just really understanding who I'll be talking to or who my ideal client is, what they already know about the space, and then how can I show up and just provide them value? Because at the end of the day, at least these folks I'm talking to, they're buying into value, right? Like you said, this is a saturated niche. They can go on and find any other agency. They're looking for a value, like a thought leader, a partner in a sense. And so that's how I had to really educate myself and show up as to those folks. So that was the number one first.
You know what's fascinating? Most people are thinking, how do I go out and get a client right now?
Yeah.
And do it without any experience, do it without having to build the foundation that's necessary to actually crush it. But what I've realized time and time again, the people that actually crush it are the ones that take the time to do things the right way and are not looking for the shortcut. And this is a clear example of that, because you're telling me, hey, before I even reached out to any clients, I want to really get to know the niche. I really want to get to know who my prospects are, what their pain points are for the most part, what their desires are, what they're struggling with, what they've tried in the past. And this is why we have any new sales rep for our agency, the first month, they just actually literally cold call and have phone interviews. So they'll actually be like, hey, can I speak with a doctor and ask a few questions? We're doing some research. And just to get to know the niche. But anyways, keep going.
And this is coming from someone that, like, I was kind of like in this space, right? Like I would have thought, like, you know, of all people, like I kind of know this industry, but like I took time to like follow, like, you know, thought leaders on Twitter, engage with them, try to set up meetings with them and understand the industry, subscribing to newsletters and doing all these things really just to build my knowledge, share that out with the team. We have daily calls and I'll like share the 3 pieces of like e-com information that's happening right now. So I'm building up the whole knowledge share of the entire team. So we can go out and really just position ourselves as the best partners, value partners to work with.
That's a really good idea, by the way. I might steal that one. Dropping like a top 3, even if you do it weekly with your team.
It's
that's
huge.
pretty powerful.
And there's a ton of people like on Twitter that are experts, right, in these spaces. And so it's easy to kind of see their even top 3s if you go on their Twitter feed or newsletters or whatever. And then even the second point, I think, is, or actually under that point, becoming this expert, right? Even when I had one client, right, like I'm not the actual expert. So I dug into myself, dug deep, and was like, okay, these people care and want to partner with an expert. How can I still like craft my story in a way that positions me as an expert? So that's kind of like what I did, even with like some different credentials, or like, hey, I scale these stores, even though it was like when I was 16 and stuff like that. But like really dig into yourself. Like there's something you've done that actually can be like a story told.
You can say I've been in e-com since I was 16, you know?
Absolutely. So even though the game has changed completely since then, but that's kind of what I did even before like the testimonials and things like that, right?
So point number 2 would be, was that point number 2?
That was still kind of like in my point number 1, becoming an expert.
Love it.
Point number 2 was really kind of like understanding even more just the pain. This goes back into understanding the buyer, but understanding that the pain points, right, of the folks that I was talking to and combating those with my offer, right? And so again, like I said, I dove deep into what are these folks like thinking about when they're talking to me, right? And so as Joel teaches, right, the guarantee, I had to get really strong with that guarantee to knock that down. And I realized a lot of folks that these folks are talking about, a lot of different agencies, especially in e-com, it's hard to make that guarantee, right? Because things are always fluctuating. So being strong on that guarantee externally and also internally, holding my team accountable to that guarantee was huge. And adjusting and pivoting, that was huge. So point number 2, I think, was understanding the pain points that the leads had and then addressing those within my offer. So we did a guarantee. I do actually strategy sessions with all of my clients. And so again, that went back to some of the pain points that they had were, are you just a flop agency? Like, are you actually like a value partner? Things like that. So like, yes, I'm going to help you on the entire business, right? And so we do like 30-minute strategy calls, kind of check-in calls with our clients. And energy. Like, these folks have been like betrayed by agencies. They don't like love agencies, right? E-com folks. And so just bringing like good energy was huge to kind of like understanding all those pain points and helping us accelerate really, really fast.
So it seems like the key here is to really figure out who your audience is, what they want, what they're struggling with, and then aligning your offer.
Yep.
Essentially what you're telling them, hey, I can help you with this, and here's what I'm going to do for you with those pain points, with who they are and what they're struggling with and what they want.
Absolutely.
You say that's pretty much it?
Yep. That's
Awesome.
good. You should do that.
Guys, if you're tuning in live, I see a lot of you guys here. I really want each and every one of you guys to not only listen to this amazing interview, but if you have a pen and paper or a notebook, take some notes. Like right now, it's hard for me to obviously take notes while I'm talking to Casey, but whenever I'm on a live or learning myself, I'm always taking notes. So guys, if you're tuning in live right now, I think it would go a long way if you can actually write it out. And what's going to happen is your brain is going to connect with the most valuable pieces of content that Casey is sharing with you guys today. And it'll help you essentially dissect what you need for you. So far, here's what I got. First, you got to find alignment with a bigger vision. If you don't have that, you're going to burn out and you're not going to have the energy required to succeed. Second of all, you have to, sorry, I'm missing out on point number 1. Why am I? Get to know your niche. Get to know your niche.
Get to know it. Get to know it.
Get to know your niche. I'm still drinking my coffee, guys. My brain shuts off for a second. It's because I do these calls every single day, nonstop. Get to know your niche, guys. Take the step back so you can take 3 steps forward. And then next up, figuring out what your prospects actually want, what they're struggling with, and then aligning your offer with those things. What's point number 3?
You say it all the time. You say it constantly. Learn how to sell to broke people, right? Learning how to sell to broke folks. And so within our industry, a lot of broke folks out there, a lot of great folks out there, but a lot of broke folks out there. And so what we were doing in the beginning was just like disqualifying. But we paid in a sense, right, for these people to be on a call with us, right? And so we want to just squeeze the juice out of them. And so what was key for us was coming up with a valuable downsell, right? So this all ties in together, right? It was still understanding the industry, being an expert, because to create this downsell, which for us is a course, I have to be an expert, right? I also need to understand my audience and what they would even like as a downsell, right? And so I would say even starting out, I wouldn't create the downsell right away. Have enough calls where you can kind of understand, like what the community wants, what your leads want. But once we were able to do that and create that downsell and that offer, shut up.
Wow. And I think the downsell for you will also evolve and grow over time, because you could do payment plans for a more expensive downsell. Like that's genius. I think most of you guys, especially in niches where the majority of people are broke, are looking for ways to only target the wealthy people. But the reality is, if you're in the roofing space, or if you're in the realtor niche where it takes $100 to go and get your realtor license and a few hours of studying just to take one test, guess what? There's no barrier to entry, really. Anyone can do it, which means there's going to be a lot more broke people. Now, all of you guys are thinking, how can I just reach the top 1% of real estate brokerages or of roofing companies that are doing 8 figures? But that's the wrong question to ask yourself. I think the right question is, how do I level up so that I can sell to most people in my niche and accept the fact that most are broke, and then help them level up to the point that they can then afford my main services. So
absolutely,
just wanted to throw that in there for anyone that has not heard me talk about that in the past. Casey, what else you got for us? I feel like you're just dropping a lot of golden nuggets, so I'm just letting you go.
No, if it's too high level, I'm happy to dive deeper, but it really is
perfect. It's literally perfect.
Okay. The next thing is just really leaning into what works, right? So we try everything, and then lean into what works. So something that works for us is, in terms of just outreach, right, was organic. Organic was really taking off, right? That doesn't mean I wasn't doing other things in parallel and figuring those out, but it was hey, this is working. Let's do this 10x, right? Because as Joel says, it's all about volume too. So we found what works and then 10x that, right? So to get more volume and get more people in the door. So again, a lot of organic things were working for us. And so there are a lot of creative ways that we had to come up with to 10x that organic outreach. But that really got a lot of people, and still is getting a lot of people in the door.
By organic, are you doing DMs? Or are you doing?
Yeah, DMs mostly.
Instagram, Facebook?
Instagram.
And are you just cold DMing people?
Cold DMing people, right? And so the VAs are doing it, again, outsource this, right? You as a business owner should not be spending time on this, and they can just do it at scale. Because volume, again, name of the game. But yeah, the VAs, we test too. You say this all the time. We test different scripts, test different DMs. But right now, number one killer for us, really Instagram DMs.
How are you planning to 10x that? We talk about finding what works and then doing more of it. How are you planning to double, triple, quadruple outreach?
Yeah, so I have a personal Instagram, right? We have a business Instagram. So there's kind of two lanes. One lane, right, where you can just, we're sending it from my personal or the business. I forgot which one we started with. But all right, let's double that. So now we're sending it from both, right? All right, this is really working from us. How can we 5x this? All right, my VAs have accounts. Let's leverage their accounts and shoot some messaging to folks and get them over to us, right? We can create other accounts. And so we have just been ideating and strategizing on how we can just keep 10xing the system that we have out there.
There's this one podcast that does this strategy, and they create 30 different page variations of their podcast. And then they reach out through every single page to try to get your attention. Yeah. It's all for the same podcast. So eventually you're okay, maybe I should reply. Okay. This is legit.
Yeah, it's either okay, let's have a meeting, or please stop. And I love those.
But I appreciate the effort too. If you're gonna make 30 business pages on Instagram and DM me, at some point I'm gonna reply. So
yeah. And it's a fun joke. We'll get on calls with a lot of folks, and they're yeah, you DM me 3 different times. It's I'm glad, we got you here. I'm glad our job paid off. Something like that. But it's a fun conversation. But yeah, we found what was working and 10x it. 10x what worked, and still figuring out other systems, right?
I think what's crazy is most people, as soon as they get something to work, what they'll do is they want to figure the next thing out instead of doubling down. Just because, again, it's not as exciting to figure out how to 3x your DMs as maybe launching a brand new outreach strategy that you've never done before. But I think the people that figure out, okay, how can I increase volume and just do more of what's already working, they end up winning. At some point it breaks just because you're going to be limited in terms of organic outreach, and you're going to need paid ads to then fuel your conversations. But especially at the beginning, guys, when you're between 0 to 10K and then 10K to 30K, which is really the next big milestone, most of you guys, as soon as you find something that's working, you want to change it. Someone was yo, Joel, I tried the 1 call close and it worked for agency, even though you say 2 call close. I'm then do that. Yeah. Forget what I said. It doesn't matter. Just double down on what's working for you. Cool. Do you have more stuff? You're like dropping a lot of fire. So
yeah, I got one. Well, I got like,
I just need to stop talking.
I got 1.5. No, you're doing a great job at recapping because that's not my strong suit there. But the last thing, kind of in relation to the Instagram, leaning into what works, right, is like Joel just kind of mentioned, right? At some point, something will break, right? And so, like I was trying to keep reiterating, still while you're 10xing that, or the VAs are 10xing the systems that work, you as the strategist, as the business owner, right, are finding different ways that we can be ready to take off, right? And so for us, that has been paid ads, as Joel loves, right? Focusing on the paid ads.
I think we lost Casey. Let's see here. Guys, if you can see Casey drop a 1 below, you can see Casey drop a 1. Oh, you're back.
I'm back?
Yeah, you froze for a second.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You're all good. You're all good.
So I don't know what I was saying, but focusing on the paid ads. And then with that, we are focusing on just setting appointments through those paid ads, right? And so we have kind of like an application that they go through, but we're taking all those calls and just setting appointments, especially now that we have our downsell in place, setting appointments, paid ads. And again, once it starts working, 10x that. Not
like the biggest opportunity now for you to 10x before you jump into a crazy application funnel, like another
lead forms.
What I was going to say is if you're getting a lot of Instagram DMs, you can run ads being like, DM me, scale. And then now you're getting people that come to you. So there are also ways to 10x your strategies. I think most people are just looking at it so black or white, and you need to just think a little more creatively, Yeah. So I think that's freaking awesome. How many appointments are you generating on average, would you say?
So daily, and I have this as a breakdown daily just from our daily sales calls, but we have 2 folks right now doing sales, and they have about 15 intros a day. And then depending on the day, demos, maybe like 3 to 5 demos a day. Gotcha.
And when people are responding on organic, is it right off that first message for the most part? Do you guys have a pretty strong follow-up system?
Yeah, so we do 6 messages actually, right? So we start on Sunday and we go through whatever Saturday, Friday night, right? And it's boom, 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 volume. And to answer the question, right? Most folks are answering on that 4th touch or the, hey, should we close this out touch, that 6th touch, like, oh no, like, okay, like let's schedule something. So don't just shoot one DM, have a whole structure, constantly hit to the top of their inbox, because I'm also not following them. So we're going into the, whatever it's called, request folder or whatever. So keep popping up to the top there. So we're doing about 5 to 6 messages a day, a week.
So walk me through this. Do you pick X number of pages like the week before, and then you're like, all right, we got 100 pages we're going to reach out to. We're going to send these 6 messages to. Is that kind of how you do it?
That's the strategy. Yep.
Cool. I'm going to give you another quick little golden nugget. Whenever you create new follow-ups, like let's say you get a new testimonial video, you can then have your team go back through everyone and do kind of like a mass follow-up.
Yeah. No, we did that. We did that on Black Friday, right?
Did you?
We
nice.
Iterating, right? Just shooting them all back, because we keep a spreadsheet of everyone we've talked to, and so they can easily just go back and boom, 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 fire them off. So
I love that. So guys, if you're doing outreach, I think the big takeaway there is most of you guys are just going for volume in terms of one person at a time. And I think you can also recreate this idea of quantity over quality by just following up more. So if any of you watching us live right now are doing outreach, definitely make sure to implement a follow-up strategy where you're sending 4, 5, maybe even 6 follow-up messages to those people. Because what I'm noticing is happening right now in the agency space is people are not replying to that first message as much as they used to, but they are still replying to those who follow up with it. Because by the time you send them 4 messages, they've seen your profile, they've engaged with you, and they're in your ecosystem. But that first message, if it kind of goes to waste, it goes to waste.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then paid ads have been super helpful for us on that front too, right? Because one thing a lot of other platforms, but now they're in our ecosystem.
Yeah, I love that. I know there's one of the members in 7FA who just crossed 1 million with his agency. What he does is he sends a link on like I think the second message ever, so that the whole idea is if they click, they're kind of screwed because they're going to see him everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pixeled.
Yeah.
Cool. So was that number 3? Was that number 4?
I think that was number 5 actually.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
The last one really, like I said, 5.5 is just really mindset. And that goes back to even what we were talking about at the top of the discussion. Like we can talk about, say, send 6 DMs or do paid ads. But like, if you don't believe you will win in this game, you won't. So like, there's no outreach strategy. There's no DMs that will help you if you don't actually believe it.
Yeah, I say this to everyone, but it's fascinating how all the people that are crushing it talk about mindset, and everyone that's not crushing it, they're talking about the next script or the next technical strategy that's going to help them scale to the next level. But it starts with you, right? You have to work on yourself, because if you don't level up as a human being, your business isn't going to level up. So I freaking love that. Guys, we got a ton of you on here. With that in mind, drop some questions below for Casey. And we'll do the next 20. How much time do you have, Casey?
I have a hard in at noon. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
At noon Central. Sorry.
So that's like 25 minutes?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Guys, drop questions below. Let's transition to a Q&A. And we will wrap up with Q&A. Tom said, what is the best place to learn mindset to win? So how do you develop a strong mindset?
Yeah, for me, it really was kind of just like being intentional about the activity that I even do with my body that influence my mind, right? So like fitness, sleeping, eating, and then that just really having those habits in place allowed me to just get a very clear mindset. And I think it goes back to what we were saying at the top of the discussion around alignment and purpose and all those things that we were talking about, right? I got very clear at what I wanted. And so some steps to get there, yes, was creating an agency, yes, scaling, but also like fitness and eating right. And I have this like new sleep ring, right, to track sleep and things like that. So being intentional about like this machine, this is a machine, right, that's going to be operating and producing. So being intentional about what you fuel it with and how you fuel it has been a huge key for me.
Would you also say that it takes time, because you've been in the game for years? So I think everyone's like, where can I go read a book and then have an amazing mindset?
Have an amazing day.
But it's like, you talked about working through your fear that was passed down like generationally. Like, for example, with me, there's definitely some trauma I had to work through in my first year of business that was completely affecting my team that I didn't even realize, oh my God, my mind game right here and things that I've gone through in my life are dictating how I show up for people that are supporting me and my team, my clients. And I needed to work through that. So it takes time too. Like it doesn't, it's not like reading a book.
It took time to build that, right? And so it took 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Like you are the way you are because of time, right? And so to even kind of like unlearn a lot of that stuff and get the mindset right takes time.
I think some like, if anyone here watching is thinking, how do I improve my mindset? Some really easy things, like Casey said, work on your physical well-being first, because that's easy. Like anyone can do that. Anyone can get better sleep. Anyone can go run or lift weights. Anyone can eat better. So that's an amazing place to start. And then what I would say is build momentum and don't really be attached to where that momentum is coming from. So if you read a book and that's how you want to work on mindset, awesome. The fact that you're reading and improving and you're committing to self-improvement, that's the key. It's not the actual book. It's not the actual vehicle. Whether it's reading a book or taking a course or going to a mindset retreat or signing up for a Tony Robbins workshop, it doesn't matter. It's just the commitment to leveling up, I think, is what really matters.
And even on that point, right, a lot of us I could go on Audible or whatever and buy a mindset book right now, right? And maybe that was the answer you're looking for, like, oh, what books or podcasts or videos, right? I think a lot of that, it can be helpful for you. I do a lot of that too. But like Joel said, you got to commit to doing the work after, because I think a lot of us, and this is across the board in business, but a lot of us confuse these actions that we're doing as like, oh, I'm doing the work. You just sitting, listening to this podcast is actually not you doing the work, right? And so you need to hold yourself accountable, and like, don't think just because you, signed up for this new podcast that you listen to every day that you're actually doing the work of getting in a good mindset. If when you turn that podcast off, you're still scared to start scaling, like you have to commit to actually doing the work. So don't get like just action confused with work. Right? Like,
ooh, that's a huge takeaway. And you know what I've realized? I'm actually terrible. I'm way better at the action piece and the taking the step back to learn, for example. And something that I've noticed with a lot of entrepreneurs is that instead of it being 80% learning, 80% reading or buying a book and feeling good about yourself, it's 80% work, 20% learning.
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
You guys need to take action for then the consequences of your action, whether good or bad, to then tell you how to take the next step forward. But most people don't take enough steps forward and take enough action to actually know what to do. So a lot of you guys are asking like, how do I find e-com store owners? What message should I send? I think that if you were someone that was like, you know what, I'm going to just send 10 messages, based on that action, you're going to get more insight on what to do next than us
reading a book
or us talking about how to create the perfect outreach message. Because at the end of the day, the market and how they respond to you is a moving target. So that's huge. Don't confuse. How did you phrase it? Don't confuse.
I don't even know. It just came out. I think I said like, don't confuse like action with work.
I love it.
Something like that. Yeah. Because like you can literally like, oh, I read 5 books this year, but what work did you do? Like, yeah.
I freaking love that. Yeah. I think a lot of you guys need to do way more work. And in terms of learning, I think that should be secondary.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not gonna just sit here and just like yell that, right? Like I was in that place, right? Like I would like spend hours like making my to-do list and like listening to all these things. But like looking back, I was like, what did I achieve this week, right? So even the strategy that I was talking about earlier, becoming an expert, and this is not to say I don't read. I subscribe to newsletters, like I was saying, but then I actually take that and put it into action, right? I take those tidbits from the newsletter, give them to my sales folks, educate them, and then they're pushing it out to our prospects, right? Action first.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Like I would rather you guys not have enough time to go read that night because you spent way too much time sending messages and on sales calls.
Yeah. Most
of you guys are sacrificing the sales calls and the time spent on outreach to go learn something new.
Analysis paralysis, they call it, right? You're just paralyzed by all the stuff you're consuming, but not taking action, and think you are taking action, but you're not. Or doing the work.
I love it. This is gold. With that in mind, let's answer some technical questions that people do answer to. You guys don't know you guys don't need the answers, but we're gonna still give them to you. So you did say you have a closer now?
I do. Yep.
When did you hire them? At what stage?
Yeah. So I think the idea is just like when you reach burnout, right? And so that may look different or when you just are too capped, right? And so that, if I say a number, that may be different for everyone, right? Mm-hmm. For me, I do a lot of things outside of this, right? So I was capped for myself personally at the 10K mark, right? And I was tapped. But since I had done so many, as soon as I brought this person on that had no experience, right? They didn't have much experience. I knew what the prospects were going to ask. I could provide her with the FAQ sheet. I knew the structure of the demo. I knew the offer, right? So get comfortable with just doing those things until you're capped, whatever that number is for you, and then bring it on. Because even when you start training that person, it'll just be so much better because you've been in the trenches doing it.
I love that. I think one of the big takeaways there is you mastered it first. And I think a lot of people want to hire a closer to compensate for their lack of sales skills or sales knowledge. You don't have to be the best closer in the world. You absolutely don't, but you definitely need to understand the sales process to then be able to be a leader to the closer that you bring on. Absolutely. But most people are bringing salespeople on to fix their lack of sales knowledge and sales leadership. So right. I think that's huge. Yeah. Okay, next question. Paid traffic wise, talk to us about your strategy.
So what we're doing is running ads, right? And I think this goes back to what we were saying, understand your niche, right? And our niche, creative, is actually a little bit more important than I thought. And so we test lots of different creatives and copy and different things like that. But mostly like what we're doing that's really working for us, and this is the key, is just like lookalike audiences, right? And we have in our database lots of different lists and things like that. But the interest stacks and the lookalike audiences, because we're feeding a lot of people through our Instagram and stuff organically, those interest stacks and lookalike audiences and things like that have been killing it for us.
And are you doing lead forms? Or are you doing a funnel?
Yeah, so we're actually doing both. Both are working well. And like I said, I lean into what's working. So we have both. We're iterating on both constantly. So I know some folks are like, start with the lead form and then move to funnel, but both have been just working. So we are leaning into that until it's not anymore. But we're doing both.
I love it. So it sounds like for e-com, anyone that's in e-com that's watching this live, sounds like lookalike audiences are working really well. Sounds like interest stacking is working really well. And then something that you mentioned earlier, building your organic ecosystem and then retargeting them. So anyone that's engaged on your Instagram profile, then they start seeing your ads and so forth.
Absolutely. And then folks that go to your Calendly link, like different things that you can do to kind of play around with that system and create some lookalikes.
And guys, I think for a lot of you that hold off on starting with paid ads for whatever reason, if you had to start with something that you would feel more confident in, I would say if you're sending a lot of messages, send a link in one of those messages and then just set up retargeting ads. I think that's going to scoop up some quick wins. Obviously, that doesn't allow you to scale. But for anyone that's watching this, that's a really good way to get started if you haven't already. And then also lead forms and sending people to a messenger bot, because the barrier to entry is lower versus a funnel. So you're just going to start more conversations and you're going to build your email list and you're going to build your phone number list. So now after running ads for a few months, you're going to have 1,000 people on your email list. Yep. And you just send one email with a new offer and boom, you fill up your calendar.
Yeah. So, and then we're also nurturing those leads too, even before the sales folks get on the call. So yeah, it's a great system. And we're iterating every day, right? Like I have this mindset of like, we have not won. Even if I hit this number, we haven't won yet, right? And so we're constantly iterating and trying new things and adjusting and implementing these systems. So yeah.
Us too. Although my team told me to slow down on testing new things.
Yeah. I get that energy from you. So we've just been testing everything.
Yeah, I mean, what's I don't know if you've heard of the test that talks about like the visionary versus the integrator. I don't know what it's called, but I saw a YouTube video on it last night. And I was thinking, I'm definitely a visionary. I'm not an integrator at all. But I had to be an integrator for a long period of time to get to the point where I can actually be aligned with who I am and what I bring to the table. And I don't know why I'm even sharing this, but the whole point, guys, is at the beginning, you have to do what you need to do to get to where you want to go. And just remove your emotion. If you have to be way more of an integrator or way more of a doer and test a lot of things because that's what's required to win, do what's required to win.
Yeah.
Remove your
emotion. It is required. Like, and I'm someone that's like same mindset. Like, I remember I was like, as soon as I was like, all right, I'm gonna just do the agency, I was just about to hire a whole team. Like, I'll just, do that, put on autopilot. And I'm so glad I didn't, because you preach this, right? Like, don't do it. And I'm so glad I didn't. And it's really paid off. It's really paid off. Just get in the trenches. Like,
it's funny. Everyone thinks I'm like, because I built that entire SOP system, the automations and the onboarding process. Everyone thinks I'm like the systems genius. And I get it. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not aligned with my being and who I am. That being said, I did it out of necessity because I knew, hey, we're not going to scale this thing if we don't figure it out. So I think that just goes to show, guys, at the beginning, it's not about doing what you want to do. It's about doing what you need to do to get to the next level.
Absolutely.
So here, let's keep going. This is a great question. Marius asked, what's a day in the life from your perspective? What does a day in the life look like for an agency owner doing 30K a month?
Yeah, I was like, there's no clear-cut day. Every day is different. Every day is a just fire and a rainbow and everything in the middle. But no, day in the life really just looks like, and this is kind of a high-level structure of how we have the team right now, which is like, even just was implemented this week, right? And so I'm sure day in the life, if you ask me, I will hit 50K very soon. And so that will look very different.
You're going to hit 100K really soon.
Yeah.
I got no doubt. You know what's interesting? 0 to 10K is like the hardest, but then it works in thirds. Like 10K to 30K, there's some weird things you kind of have to figure out. Yeah. Then it's 30 to, like, if you can get to 50K, you can 100% get to 100K.
Yeah. So yeah, it's coming. But day in the life, and I mean, it really will depend on you, but we do some daily calls in the beginning just to get everybody's energy up. So I actually just brought on an account manager, different things like that. So we do some daily calls, review things, but really just to level set on the day. And then after that, honestly, I can't even give you a clear agenda for the rest of the day. It depends. It depends. And I think I'm saying that because we're just scaling so fast, right? And so my day can go till like midnight or whatever. So yeah, I don't have a great question for you there. But I will say the day, like, super busy, always hectic, always a problem, always a fire or something. Joel says, like, go till the systems break, then figure it out, right? Like, and that's what we're doing. And so always a fire, but always some client wins, always some good stories. But at the end of the day, I'm super tired, but I know what I'm doing is so aligned with what I'm called here to do. And so I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just filled with like just so much passion and energy. But yeah, I don't have a clear day in the life, but
here's maybe a different take on the question. On the journey from one client to 30K, what did you prioritize in your day-to-day?
Myself.
Tell me more.
Myself. And this is, I'm like the least like selfish person at all, but I realized like and this will go back to a lot of things I've said, but like I have to be right to show up for my team, to show up for my clients, to be focused, to put systems in place, right? And so on that journey, I was so intentional about, we got a new puppy, but like blocking time to like go take the dog for a walk, blocking time to like, I'll pre-order, you got to maximize your time, but like pre-ordering my Whole Foods meals and like eating right and getting clean, right? And so it was really just still like, and I have a hard end time mostly from like 7 to 9, where I just like rest, relax, and get back to it if I need to. But really on that whole journey, and it's so hard to like lose yourself in that. And I think we were talking about in the group the other day. But you need to stay committed to whatever that end goal is. My end goal is freedom, and right. And so this is a means to an end, but even within this means, I don't have to lose the end. Right. And so right now for me, that is like 2 hours a day kind of, or here and there, but getting up early, working out, calling my parents, like the things that like kind of fuel me up, the things that like I want to be free to do, still making time for that, even though it's crazy hectic day. So I would say key is understanding what you want out of life and making sure you block time out for that, even when it's crazy scaling periods.
How did you separate setting and closing appointments and taking care of your clients on these last 3 months? How did you balance all that out?
Yeah, I think
one of the hardest balances for most people starting out to crack. It's like for people starting out, like their brains can't do both. And I'm just curious how you were able to master that.
Yeah, I think given like my previous roles with just like client relations, rapport building has always been my thing, right? So throughout the sales cycle, and I teach my sales folks this, we build rapport. So even if everything goes to shit, like during fulfillment, they just love us enough to like understand that it'll be okay. But I think that balance, I have a great fulfillment team, which is pretty rare in the industry. But I think what helps with that balance, not to say it's completely balanced, but what helps is the clients trust us. They just trust us and love us because every time we talk to them, we give them energy. We're giving them value. We're sending like, hey, did you see this news article about Black Friday sale? Like we're providing them so much value and so much time that's not even related to the actual fulfillment. When we have a low week, which we had for a couple of clients this week, when we have a low week, it's like, all right, I trust you guys. I know you're going to pick it up. So I think that balance has really just been like our rapport building with our clients.
Set things up to have a solid relationship right from the get-go so that if things don't go well, you can still focus on setting and closing appointments without losing the client and
Correct.
buy yourself some time to get things back on track.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
Casey, well, we have 7 minutes. Let's keep going. We still have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're loving this interview, drop a 1 below. Show Casey some love in the comments. We got a lot of you guys on here, and the amount of people on this interview has stayed consistent. So everyone that's here has been here since the beginning. Which is awesome. I appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day on a Friday. Let's see. I got time. We probably have time for like 2 more questions. Let's see. Can you talk about your deliverables, the package you're selling it all? Is it mainly paid ad management? Are you stacking services? And how did you create it?
Yeah, I would say if you're just starting out, just get clear on one offer. Again, this goes back to like understanding the industry, what they want and what you believe you can provide. Just get clear on one offer, right? So if you're just starting out, what we do is kind of offer a stack and different services. And so a lot of folks will come for some like paid traffic type things, but we now can offer a lot of different stacks, and that's me just building out my internal team. And so we can upsell, right? And so that's also been huge for us. Like, hey, like this is going really well for you. Again, they trust us because we've built so much rapport. And so it's like, they don't even see it as an upsell. They see it as just me trying to help. And so now we do offer kind of a whole package, but throughout the sales cycle or throughout their journey with us, we're planting seeds of these upsells and how we can continue to help. So.
I love it. So essentially start with a more basic offer and then build from there. And especially when you have clients that love you, that's when you really want to add more and more and more.
Yeah, start with just like Facebook ads. All right, I'm gonna do Facebook ads for you. And as you talk to them, as you see like, you know, like a lot of folks say, right, like they need some training or sales training, or they need to be able to talk to their leads, or they actually need content built. Like you'll understand like what the next need is. And then maybe bring that into your agency, right? And then you can upsell them, and then you can actually make that a package for folks coming in, different things like that. But start with one basic offer and just grow from there. Again, goes back to understanding your client and their needs.
I love it, Casey. Well, it's been freaking amazing. It seems like everyone's loving this interview. I do want to ask you a question. Since you did join 7FA, what do you have to say about 7FA to everyone watching? And this is my shameless plug. So
join, like that's it. Just join, just do it. Just do it. Figure out a way to make it happen because it'll pay off, right? In 7FA, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. In 7FA, there are a lot of ways to confuse action with work. And so if you join, remember to actually do the work, right? All the tools are there. Everything is there. There's so much information. So join and do the work, not join and sit and listen, and join and do the work. That's what I'll say. But join.
I love it. Guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link. If you are interested in learning more about our program and want to speak to our team to see if it's a good fit for you, I just dropped the link in the comments. I'm also going to put it at the top of this video. We work with e-com agencies, roofing agencies, gym agencies, chiro agencies, creative agencies, any SEO agencies, any type of agency. And we also help people start and launch their agency from scratch. Of course, it's going to take you a little bit more time. Casey's been in the game for years now, but we're going to be able to help nonetheless. So if you want to learn more about how we can help you, go check that out and book a call. You've got nothing to lose. And we just added some special financing options. So if you're worried about being able to pay for the program and invest in the program, we can work with you. So if you want to learn more and if you want to see how we can help you, no matter whether you are tight on finances or have money to invest, book a call, speak with our team. Regardless, we'd love to speak with you guys and get to know you. And that's pretty much it. So Casey, what's your final takeaway to share with the Marketing Agency Secrets family?
Yeah, I think it's something that we've been saying, right? Like, go join. But regardless of what you do, like, go do the work. You sitting on this call actually today, like, you didn't actually do any work. Like, take whatever you learned from this.
But I'm still glad you guys came.
I'm still so excited because you did learn, right? You learned maybe something. Like, go DM some folks, but go do the work. Like, that's it. Go do the work. Yeah.
I love it, guys. Now that you learned, do the work or else it will be a total waste. So that's the best thing that you could do for us. Also, book a call to speak with us about 7FA, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace out.